Have you ever stopped to think about what makes a scary story really get under your skin? It's not just about things jumping out at you. No, it's the slow, careful buildup of dread. So today, we're going to tear apart this chilling short story to see exactly how it works its magic, one tap at a time.
And this is where almost every great horror story kicks off, right? In the mundane, in the normal. It grounds us in a reality we all know. The usual creaks and groans of an old building. That way, when that reality starts to shatter, it feels so much more personal, so much more invasive.
Okay, so let's dive into the first part, the setup. This is where the story lays the groundwork, setting the scene and introducing that first tiny little crack in the narrator's everyday world. And at first, it seems pretty harmless.
This scene is set up just perfectly. You can totally picture it, right? A top floor apartment in some old building in Chicago. But here's the key detail. The apartment right below his is supposed to be empty, sealed shut. So right away, you have a problem. There's a sound coming from a place where absolutely nothing should be. Now look at how specific this is. This isn't just some random noise. It's the consistency that's so clever. The exact same time, that specific rhythm, the repetition. That's what turns it from a simple building noise into something that feels, well, intentional. It's a pattern, and our brains are just wired to see a pattern and think, hey, something is doing that.
And this, right here, is where the story really kicks into high gear. It goes from being this weird, passive thing that's happening to an active threat. The escalation begins the second our narrator realizes the sound isn't just intelligent, it's aware of him. You can see the whole progression so clearly on this timeline. I mean, it's just a masterclass in building suspense. It starts off as this little nuisance you could just ignore, but then it gets responsive. It starts following his movements like some kind of predator. And then the final jump, it actually communicates. And boom! That's the moment the floor just drops out from under you. All those rational explanations you were cooking up, oh, it's the pipes, it's the neighbors, maybe it's the wind, they're all just gone in an instant. The threat is now, without a doubt, supernatural. It's personal, and somehow it knows him. His safe space is officially not safe anymore. And that's the question, isn't it? It's the one that starts spinning around in his head, and in ours too. It creates this deep, creeping paranoia. Because the thing you don't know is always 1,000 times scarier than the thing you do. And right now, all he knows is that something impossible is happening to him. So next, the story starts to zoom out a little bit to deepen the mystery. Suddenly, it's not just about a sound in one guy's apartment anymore. It's about a dark history that's baked into the very walls of the building. And guess who holds the key to that history? The landlord. I mean, every single one of these points is like a little breadcrumb of pure dread. The super vague incident, the tenant who just vanished. It all proves this isn't the first time this has happened. Our narrator has basically stumbled into a horror story that was already in progress, and he's just the next chapter. And the scariest part? The silence. The lack of answers just lets your imagination run wild. This creates this fantastic little psychological game. You've got the voice, and it's pleading for help, right? It's trying to sound like a victim, but then you have the physical evidence, and that is aggressive. That is violent. The scratching, the cracks spreading across the floor, that sounds like something trying to break out. So what are you supposed to feel? Sympathy or just pure terror? The story makes you feel both at the same time. Okay, so all of this buildup, the mystery, the history, the dread, it's all got to lead somewhere, right? It has to have a payoff. And now we're heading into the confrontation, the part where our hero is completely cut off and any sense of control is just ripped away from him. This is such a classic horror move, the trap. By taking away every single way to escape, the story forces all of that tension inward. It's all focused on that one apartment, on that one floor. There is literally nowhere to run. The confrontation is coming, whether he likes it or not. This is the perfect example of how sometimes silence can be way, way more terrifying than any noise. That familiar rhythm he's been hearing every night, it's gone. And why? Well, probably because whatever was knocking doesn't need to knock anymore. The game has changed, and this quiet is just the beginning of the end. Notice the writing here. It's short, it's clipped, it's almost breathless. The style itself starts to feel like the narrator's panic. Breathing, right below. It's so immediate, so sensory. It puts you right there in that room with him as that final barrier between his world and whatever's below just dissolves. Wow, I mean, what a chillingly perfect line. It's a complete flip of power, a total inversion of reality. He's not the resident of the top floor anymore. His reality has been swallowed by what was underneath. He is now part of its world. But hold on, the story isn't quite over. It saves its absolute best, most effective trick for the very end. It breaks the fourth wall. And in doing so, it turns this terrifying story about some other guy into a direct, personal warning for you. See, the story doesn't end with some neat explanation. It ends with a survival guide. By giving us these rules, the narrator, who's speaking from God knows where now, he transforms his terrible experience into a cautionary tale. The threat isn't safely contained in the story anymore. It's now a potential reality for any of us. And that's the final twist of the knife, isn't it? That's the lingering terror. The story reaches out from the page and plants this little seed of doubt right in the middle of your own safe space. It makes you second guess every little creak, every tap, and it leaves you with one very unsettling question to think about when you're all alone in the dark.